As part of activities to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Chrisland schools, a Thanksgiving service was held on Saturday, the 21st of October 2017, at the Archbishop Vining Memorial Church Cathedral, GRA Ikeja, Lagos. The church was filled to its capacity as board of directors, management, staff and pupils of Chrisland schools and their parents came to celebrate with the school for the tremendous progress in the last 40 years. Indeed, the good works of High Chief Dr. Mrs. W.A. Awoshika, OON, who is the chairman and founder of Chrisland Schools Limited and founder and chancellor of Chrisland University, was evident at the gathering, as the congregation looked delighted to celebrate the visionary behind the great school. Dignitaries present at the event were First Lady of Ogun State, Mrs. Olufunso Amosun, Deputy Governor of Osun State, Otumba Mrs. Grace Titilayo Laoye Tomori, Mrs. Ayo Adeyemi, Managing Director, Chrisland Schools Limited, Royal Fathers, and many other important personalities. The service began with a sermon by Right Reverend James Olushola Odediji, Bishop of the Diocese of Lagos West Anglican Communion. In the sermon, he thanked God for the life of High Chief Dr. Mrs. W.A. Awoshika, saying that despite all the challenges, Chrisland schools are sailing afloat and growing in leaps and bounds. Right Reverend James Olushola Odediji therefore urged students of the school to make deliberate efforts to guard the core values of Chrisland schools, adding that High Chief Dr. Mrs. W.A. Awoshika and her late husband have invested greatly in Chrisland schools in the last 40 years.
We are now in a generation where everything and money is establishing school. You must guard the core value of your own school jealously, so that the labor of our heroes, past and even present, am I still here, will never be in vain. Mama and her husband invested so much into this school, 1977. Their talents, their treasures, they sold many of their properties to get this school started 40 years ago. Their labor must not be a waste. You must make deliberate efforts to make sure that the light in this school continues to glow.
This was immediately followed by the first presentation by students of the school as they performed songs to the listening pleasure of the congregation. Afterwards was the recitation of the Creed, after which Right Reverend Olubumi Akinlade, Bishop of Ife Diocese Anglican Communion, led the congregation in prayers.
We're grateful, God, because you sustained her. Despite the challenges at that time, she remained strong. Despite having to raise small children at that time, she was committed. And today we are celebrating 40 years. Father, accept our thanks and praise in the name of Jesus. Amen. You who have started with this school and brought it thus far, you will continue to sustain it in the name of Jesus. Amen. It will continue to go from glory to glory to glory in the name of Jesus. Amen. We thank you for the entire management. We thank you for the managing director, Mrs. Adeyemi, and her siblings that are involved in the management of this school now. Lord, you will continue to sustain them in the name of Jesus. Amen. Wisdom from above to carry the vision further than where Mama has taken us to. you will bestow it upon them in the name of Jesus Christ.
The second presentation by students of Chrisland schools was a special native song. The congregation, visibly awed by their presentation, rose and gave a standing ovation. In her remarks, High Chief Dr. Mrs. W. A. Awoshika, OON, Chairman and founder of Chrisland Schools Limited and founder and Chancellor of Chrisland University, expressed appreciation to all those who came to share in her joy, adding that over the years, God has blessed her with a wonderful management team who have contributed to the success of Chrisland Schools. She also thanked the First Lady of Ogun State, Mrs. Olufunso Amosun, and the Deputy Governor of Osun State, Otumba Mrs. Grace Titi Layolaoye Tomori, adding that they have been an inspiration to her over the years. High Chief Dr. Mrs. W. A. Awoshika also spoke on the issue concerning the removal of Christian religious studies from the Nigerian curriculum. She said it is an issue that should not be debated because growing up, we all learned from the teachings of Christian religious studies, which impacted many lives positively. She, however, urged all to uphold their values as children of God.
It is by special grace and blessing that we have the opportunity to celebrate. I seize this opportunity to thank all those good people, good friends, well-wishers who have supported us through thick and thin all these years. So there's a lot of debate as to whether the schools should teach religion or not. It should not be debated at all, because we all learned from the teachings, whether we were Christian or a Muslim. We had a few Muslim students at St. Anne's in those days, but they had to do what we Christians were doing. So let the light shine. No religion preaches wickedness. It's we people who put that in what we are doing, and that is ungodly. So we are celebrating God.
This was immediately followed by a Thanksgiving session, after which family members and friends of the Awoshikas were prayed for. The Hallelujah chorus was sung by the choir, after which the officiating minister blessed the congregation. The closing hymn, titled Standing on the Promises of God, brought the church ceremony to an end. The two-tier ceremony, which began with a church service, had its reception at the Haven Event Center, Ikeja. The hall was beautifully decorated with lemon and green, which is the brand color of the school. On the bandstand was the awesome tune, as they serenaded the hall with good music. Talented actress and on-air personality, Omotunde Adewale David, popularly known as Lolo One or Adako, was the event compere. The reception ceremony officially kicked off with an opening prayer led by Reverend Canon Awoshika. The event featured a documentary chronicling the journey so far of Chrisland Schools, The documentary also showcased students and past students of Chrisland schools who have done the school proud and have excelled in their various fields of endeavor. As the audience watched the great story behind the birth of the school, the saying, "Do not despise the days of little beginning," resonated in the hearts of many. Next was the toast, which was supervised by Chief Olufalomo, as guests clink glasses to many more achievements of Chrisland schools.
Here is to the continued success of Chrisland schools. And that by the grace of God, we shall all be here in 10 years' time to celebrate the Golden Jubilee. Long live Chrisland schools.
Mrs. Georgina Azike, a staff member of the school who has been with Chrisland schools for over 25 years, represented a long list of staff members who have also served the school for over 2 decades. Mrs. Georgina Azike, in her remarks, spoke very highly of Chief Dr. Mrs. W.A. Awoshika, saying that she has contributed immensely to the lives of every staff member of Chrisland school, adding that she is indeed a woman who is worthy of emulation.
We want to return all glory, honor, and admiration to God Almighty, who has sustained this great citadel of learning from little beginnings to very great heights. Our school, Chrisland, started as a little tree. Today we are like a big oak with a lot of branches. I want to appreciate our chairman and founder, the visionary of the school, our dear mommy, highly respected, our Reverend Mommy, Dr. Mrs. W.A. Awoshika.
Next was the cutting of the cake, as Chief Dr. Mrs. W.A. Awoshika was joined by friends and family members as the event compere supervised the session.
Alright, let's go. C H R I S L A N D. Chrisland! Congratulations and 40.
Afterwards, a photo and video session ensued as family, friends and management of Chrisland schools took turns to take photographs with the woman of the day, Chief Dr. Mrs. W.A. Awoshika. The dance floor was later declared open by Chief Dr. Mrs. W.A. Awoshika as she was joined by an array of friends and family members. It was merriment all the way, as the awesome tune serenaded the hall with melodious songs, which saw all dancing to the rhythm of their beat. From Biscayne Communications, we congratulate Chrisland Schools Limited on her 40th anniversary.